Have y'all noticed that these podcasts just talk about the same shit? Oh, how come men only care about sex? Because we like to fuck. Oh, how come women only care about money? Because they like security. The problem is everybody's just trying to get something at a discount. The price is the price. Stop trying to sell people on your personality. Stop trying to get what you want with shit ain't nobody asking for. There's a reason McDonald's don't sell salads anymore. All right? You can't guilt people into wanting to accept whatever you give. The price is the price. And at the end of the day, no woman wants to be fucking on a man who's making her pay for everything. And no man wants to be spending up his money on a woman that he not fucking. We need 8 million podcasts just to keep going over this? Don't nobody want your personality. Get some money or give out some pussy or shut the fuck up. It's that simple.
All right, welcome back. This is Mike Perkins, one half of MVP, one half of Opinions Are Like Podcast, one half of Mike and Vince Perkins. And for this here, I am the whole show. So you saw the clip in the beginning, or at least heard the clip in the beginning, depending on where you're listening to this at. Ryan Davis. Do we need 800 or 8 million podcasts to go over people essentially giving a good deal to the opposite sex as a means to have a relationship? No, we don't need 8 million podcasts to keep going over why a bad deal is a bad deal and a good deal is a good deal. Either you giving up some pussy or you giving up some money, and that's what, essentially the deal is. Sometimes when guys like, and Ryan Davis, he's a funny guy. Not gonna take away from his funny, but some guys are really, they're in over their head when they had these conversations. So, for example, the idea, because it's like the force balancing idea that I gave. Force balancing. What you do when you force balance in banking or any kind of register or anything like that. Force balancing is, for example, being $10 under. You count your drawer. Oh my God, I'm off by $10. So instead of counting 9 tens, which is what you really have, you count 10 tens so that you can balance. And you balance your drawer based on a lie. What he essentially just did is he force balanced the conversation where there is no balance. Sir, most men, if you ask them across not just the United States, but across the world, from Detroit to Timbuktu, if you ask them, what are men supposed to bring in the context of a relationship, you'll get essentially the same answer. Provisions, protection, leadership. You're gonna get the same answer. Most men understand that. Even if they can't provide that, they understand that on some level, right? This is the problem. If you ask 2 women from the same household, what is a woman supposed to bring in the context of a relationship or being a wife? You're gonna get 2 different answers. That's the problem. There is no set deal that they're required to come to the table with. So that what women do is they either over exaggerate the expectation as a means to do nothing, or they just actually are bold enough to say or do nothing. See, it's not happening on both sides. You're kind of, trying to balance the conversation, and the conversation has not been balanced. Women are asking for something that especially black women, because that's what he's talking about. He didn't say black women, but he certainly means black women, because he's not talking about not black women, and he's not talking about black men. That's who he's talking about. We don't need 8 million podcasts for that, but we do need male podcasts to address the issue at hand. It's the behavior, it's the culture that we have that have women saying they're strong and independent, don't need no man. And then also saying that they're the most unprotected. Well, ma'am, if you don't need your men, then where were you going to get the protection from? That's not a both sides thing. And the way that you're describing it, sir, is as if it's both things. It's not two-sided. The conversation about men has been happening for 50 years about us not being shit, us not being producers, us not being providers, us being jailbirds, loving white women, being on the down low. All that shit, that's fucking 50 years of that. You got 2 or 3 years of podcasts from men, and they're losing their fucking mind. I keep reiterating, we've only had 3 years, 2 or 3 years of men having media to where it's penetrated the culture to where you now have to have a conversation. That's it. Ain't been that long. These women's platforms, black women specifically, have existed long before you ever had any male podcasts, black men podcasts that existed. Because you can't name anything prior to 2020 that existed. The conversation has never been balanced. The problem has never been balanced. Never. And it won't be balanced until niggas, put one foot in front of the other and leave. It's not dudes understand they gotta make money. There's no dude on the face. I would love for dudes to play that clip. Whereas a dude is saying, I shouldn't have to have money. I shouldn't have to have money. I should be able to get a woman off the strength of me. I shouldn't have to be able to pay bills. That's not a thing. Men are not saying that. Men are not saying I don't have to produce, I don't have to provide, I don't have to protect, I don't have to lead. No dude is saying that. You can't find that clip. We have a bunch of clips where women don't think they have to do anything. Women with 2 kids from 2 different dudes talking about they need a man or they should have a man that makes 6 figures. We got 3 years of one show where women ask for the most just the most out of this world shit for what they bring to the table. And it always sounds ridiculous. We have at least thousands of women on one show trying to get an unfair deal in the name of, I should just get it. You don't have that on the other side, sir. There is no clip of a man saying, I should just get pussy off the strength of me being a man. I have a dick and I should get some pussy. We understand that in a very indirect way, or maybe a direct way. Pussy costs. A woman costs. We understand that. Every man understands that. It's the deal that we're asking for. We're asking for a good deal. We're not asking for a ridiculous deal. You want me to pay all the bills. I was paying all the bills before you got here, so I'm going to pay the bills when you get here. That's fine. Now, can I get the cooperation, femininity, friendliness, and fitness and there you go. Because I did my part, and most dudes understand their part. Making $100,000, sir. You're not saying that. But let's just throw that number out there because that's the number that everybody keeps throwing. 6 figures. Okay, cool. Most men don't make 6 figures. Most men make less than 6 figures. Matter of fact, we're talking about 10% of men or people that make over $100,000. Let's just say 10% because it's probably where it's at. So 10% of people. If you, and that doesn't, filter out gay, age, height, nothing, right? That's just 10% of people, male, female. So this is my question. If you have to be the guy who makes $100,000 because that's what they want, if you have to be the guy that is 6 foot tall because that's what they want, then what are they supposed to do for that? I understand the one side of the equation. What we're supposed to do. We got that. What are they supposed to fucking do? And if what they do is if what they do is so fucking hard, then why aren't they switching? Because what we do apparently is the easy part. Why are they so vehemently against the part doing our part? Like, why don't you provide, protect, and lead then? If it's if what we're doing is not as valuable, then do our part. Because we'll gladly switch. You get these dudes that go around, it's another clip, and maybe I'll do a video on it, whereas it's a guy, and he's saying, women are tired. Women are tired, and they just want, I forget this guy's name, I'm so mad I forgot his name. Women are tired, they just want to rest. They just want to rest, and they don't want to have to go and pick up the kids and then come back home and do this. Nigga, I would do that shit in a heartbeat. I had the argument with my ex-wife now. This probably is the conversation that did it. No, it's probably not. But I had a conversation with my wife, and she created this concept of which it was, it wasn't a concept of our own. That what I do and what she do is equal because we both are doing our part. And so nothing she does is better than what I do, and nothing I do is better than what she does. And that I don't appreciate what it is that she does. And so in the conversation, I was infuriated because at the time I was working 2 jobs, working 80 hours a week. And we were in, I made good money. And we were essentially $100,000, well, plus we were over $100,000. But most of that wasn't because of her, obviously, it was because of me. I would still come home. I got boys, so they're jumping all over me. Daddy, I want to go outside. So I got to go outside. Started work at 5 in the morning. Don't get home till 5. You know what I'm saying? On most days, 5 or 6 o'clock. It's like, all right, cool, whatever. They're my boys. What am I do? Say no? I'm going outside. I'm throwing the football. I'm only getting maybe 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep at best. I'm not really, being, I'm cleaning. I'm doing everything that I could possibly do. And not to say all men do this, because all men don't. But the conversation that led up to the conversation led to her asking me to appreciate what she does, because what she contributes compared to what I contribute is the same. And I asked her this simple question. Look, you're right. I'll accept your premise. Why don't we just switch? Why don't you do what I'm doing and I do what you're doing, since what you're doing is so much more, so important? Because what I'm doing, I thought it was the important thing, and I haven't complained. But why don't we just switch? See, the thing is that men understand that we're not going to get an equal deal, because that's not what we're asking for. But we do want a fair deal. We know what we have to do. We have to provide, protect, and lead. That's fine. If shit break down, it's on us. That's fine. We'll accept that. Most of us will accept that. But the deal is not good on the other side. And I'm talking about a fair deal, not an equal deal. You're not going to be able to do what I do. That's just not going to happen. You're not built to do what I do. Not mentally, emotionally, physically, you're not built. The question or the problem is that the deal is not fair. Because women aren't asking for working class dudes. They're not asking for working class dudes. And look, you don't want a working class dude. You don't have to have a working class dude. Get what the fuck you want. But you don't get to pass up $60,000 and $70,000 guys to say, okay, I want a dude who makes 100, 200, and then come back to those very same guys. That's the problem. The problem is that the game is the game, and you got women out here who are trying to play the game on like easy. I don't know what the fuck they trying to play the game on. They think that they can just sidestep all of the work that it takes to actually have the life that you fucking want. You can't fucking hot girl some of your coochie into submission and then come back to the game and be like, okay, cool. Now I want a dude who's going to take care of me and these kids. Because women are out here really struggling in the context of doing everything. They're making decisions that put them in position where they got to do everything. You know what I'm saying? So if you leave your marriage and you had a husband, well then you fucking, that's your fault. It's your call. Nobody told you to leave your husband. Nobody told you to file for fucking divorce. Even having babies, like up to a few months ago, you could kill a baby. And it was just legal. You could just kill a baby. Nobody is on the other side of the equation that you're trying to force balance, which is unbalanced. There is the other side, sir, is asking for an unfair deal. Coochie is not enough. The fit, friendly, feminine, cooperative part has not been taken care of. That is the cost of having a nigga to provide, protect, and lead. Because most of the hit is going to be on him. Most of the hit is going to be on the dude. All of this fandom, like, if you notice, when you ask about what women bring to the table, it's never nothing tangible. If you notice, it's never nothing. It's never something that you can actually practically use. It's usually something that's fucking so subjective that it's just and it's never the four things that we are asking for the most part, which is fit, friendly, feminine, cooperative. You know what I'm saying? I mean, throw in, be honest, but like, regular stuff. It's never that shit. It's always some shit. I'm the backbone. Who's like, man, I don't even know what that means at this point. Women use it so much, and you motherfuckers believe this shit. And like, and the problem with a guy like him is that he's benefited from it. I call him an ugly guy. He's not a traditionally handsome guy, but he is funny and he got money. You know what I'm saying? He's funny and he's got money, and so he benefits from that he benefits from that part. So because I was saying that about me and my brother, like, and maybe my brother to a greater extent, me to a lesser extent, it's like when you benefit from certain categories of currency, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ed Anderson. When you benefit from certain category of currency, it's hard to really see the trees from the forest. Cause you know what I'm saying? You're in it. Like, I'm winning, but it's like, in order for me to step out of that and be like, oh man, something going on. Cause like, at least to me, to most people, my wife was gorgeous, and when you can do that, and get a woman and, she looked good and you can have her on your arm and say, yeah, this is my wife. You're in it. When you can land attractive women, you're in it. All the problems that dudes complain about, you like, man, y'all niggas complaining, man. You just need to get you. And it's just like, I'm actually having the same problems and I'm in it. And a guy like Ryan Davis is in it. I'm sure the kind of women that he get now ain't the kind of women that he could have got. And maybe I'm sure he understands that on some level. But like, that's a fatal flaw because our women are not picking for production. They're picking for penis. It's another thing that you're leaving out. That's imbalance. Most dudes are not picked like the dudes that are marrying regular women. You made baby mama a fucking, Instagram model, which there's not enough Instagram models to go around like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just want an Instagram model. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in the fucking world. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is not just fucking Instagram models. Like, the Instagram models are fucking the same guys. They're just rotating they're rotating the pussy. They're rotating the pussy. Putting the pussy in the circles. Rotating the pussy. Rotisserieing the pussy. But when you're in it though, like he's in it, it's really hard. And especially when you come up on a lick. Cause see, if you notice, he said money. He didn't say get in shape. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say wear a suit. He said the thing that he got. He said money. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say nothing about the shit that he needs to work on. He said shit about the shit that he got. Get your money up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that women should or shouldn't want money. I mean, on some level, a man has to be a provider on some level. But if you accept that, then what about the traditional things that a man is going to ask for? Not just pussy. Because again, pussy was baked into the pie. Pussy was a part of the pie. What about the other? But pussy is not the whole pie. Pussy is not the whole pie. I'll put this on it. Money is more a bigger part of the pie on what it is that I'm supposed to come with than pussy is on your side. Now, you can't not give pussy, but again, is that an even or a fair deal? You know, that's not a fair deal because I'm more invested because I'm putting in more of the thing that can get me anyone. Look, people gonna want pussy, but they're not gonna. You can't get a nigga to provide for you. And I think he knows that. And these are not the conversations that need to be had mainstream. Like, we just want a good deal. Like, we want an actual fair deal. Again, we have all the information that we need to say, hey, look, this is them and this is what they want. And you may say not all women, but look, then find me the woman that's asking for a fair deal. Find me the woman that's asking for a fair deal. It take women until they're 47 years old to say, okay, I just need a man that just... So, oh, now you want a working class man. Now you want a regular dude. Yeah, but see, regular dude got with somebody else. And that's like when you get to the passport shit, when you get to niggas just dating out, just hopping the fence completely, you know what I'm saying, with the passport shit, but hopping the fence, going to another race, you know. And I like thinking about it for me, like, you know, black men are choosing black women at 87%, you know, and, you know, there's no numbers or anything that suggests that black men are like picking, you know, the same women. It's like you know, we're not all fucking one woman, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's exaggeration, but you know, you get my point. Like, we're not fucking the same women. We're kind of spreading it out, you know what I mean? And so we're picking black women at 87%, 60% of marriages in our community, and in divorce, 80% of the time, it's the woman that initiates it, and 90% of the custody hearings go in their favor, and 97% of alimony and resource splits go in their favor. Now, if I was going, so that's what our relationship is with black women. If I was going to Foot Locker and I chose Foot Locker 87% of the time because I'm just loyal to Foot Locker, and then 60% of the time it was fucked up, and 80% of the time it was them that initiated the fuck up, like, you would tell me stop going to Foot Locker. So a lot of times, again, when I'm looking at it, when you hear women even say pick better women or stop picking these kind of women, it's just like, well, what kind of women do you want us to pick? Because we're picking y'all at 87%. And it's not because of a lack of opportunity in the fact when you see even a small, because, you know, not a lot of dudes have passports. Not a lot of dudes who even travel or even got passports even travel. But when you see a push for dudes to travel, you can see how valuable black men are, because you're saying, no, don't go. You're doing everything that you can to possibly stop niggas from going, but you're doing everything you can for men that you say aren't valuable until they're about to leave. See, I don't worry about the old shoes that beat up that I don't wear. I don't give a fuck about them. But the shoes that I value, the ones that are the most comfortable, that I get a lot of utility out of, I don't want to lose those shoes. And I don't even care if they're old. I have track shoes, you know, or running shoes that are like really good. They're old, but I love wearing them because they're fucking comfortable. You know what I'm saying? If somehow somebody stole those, I'd be fucked up. I'd be like, man, that's bullshit. Because when I run, I want those shoes. You know what I'm saying? I get use out of them. If a nigga is leaving and he ain't useful and he ain't valuable, then you should be. But the problem is that when we leave, that's what happens. You get situations like Jay Ellis or Omari Hardwick, or, you know what I'm saying, or any other way, whereas they are outed for having a white wife. Jay Ellis had to turn off his comments. This situation is not balanced, sir. Because we didn't do that to Serena. We was just like, all right, cool. She chose the dude from Reddit. You know, we didn't do that obviously we didn't do that to Gabrielle Sidibe. You know what I'm saying? Or Eve, or any number of black women who marry white women, white dudes. Ketanji Brown Jackson, like, nobody's up in arms about that shit. I'm gonna say all our good women keep up because we know it's just like, all right, like nigga, thank you for taking her off. Right? You know what I'm saying? Nobody fucking mad at Kamala Harris for being with a Jewish guy. It's not balanced. It's not, well, both sides are saying the same. No, both sides are not saying the same thing, sir. They want an unfair deal. We're not even asking for an equal deal. You're not going to bring to me what I bring to you. You're just not. That's never going to happen. But the problem is that the same women who are asking for an unfair deal, not only is it not equal, it's unfair. It's unequal, it's unfair. They can't go anywhere and get that deal. Which speaks to the lack of fairness in the deal and speaks to the lack of balance in the conversation. Because the conversation that they're having is, they're having that motherfucker on Pluto. That conversation's happening on Pluto. And you motherfuckers have got to stop saying men do it too, because that's not a fucking defense of the idiocity that's going on the other side. Like we get to a point where we're having the same conversation only because of niggas that keep saying we're having the same conversation when it's not the same conversation. Both sides are not saying the same thing. Dudes want a fair deal. You had the situation with just Gary Owen. Gary Owen, that motherfucker, look, man, he's a white guy. You know what I mean? And I'm not like caping for white guys, or nothing like that. And I don't, whatever. But like, he had a black wife, of course, and she did what they do. This nigga just thought it was gonna be a regular ass divorce. He thought it was gonna be regular. And then you got niggas, the capingest capers of all times, in Charlemagne, and she deserves half. Motherfucker, no, she don't. She ain't wrote one joke. But she took care of your kids while you was out. Motherfucker, she took care of kids. This motherfucker was a stepdad. Didn't know that. Thought they only had kids with each other. He was with her for 23 years. And he was a stepdad, which means that he was a stepdad to a little motherfucker. Not like a 10-year-old. He was a stepdad to a little motherfucker. And he has to be a stepdaddy to a little motherfucker because you fucked somebody you shouldn't have been fucking. Raised him up. Did the right thing. This is the thanks he gets. The thanks he gets is all the little slander out there. And it doesn't matter. You're not exempt. It's not money. Money don't make it. You think making money is gonna make a woman act right? Look at every rich motherfucker that got divorced. They're not asking for money, sir. They don't give a fuck about money. That ain't the niggas they fucking. Them ain't the niggas they submitting to. Them ain't the niggas they giving babies to. Them are not the niggas that they fuck with like that. It's not productive dudes. 30% of our college graduates are marrying out. We're not having the same conversation. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced fuck-ass lie. We're not having the same conversation. It's not balanced because we don't have a balanced conversation because we're not being honest. Be honest. If you're off $10, just say you off $10. We don't need 8 million podcasts. No, we don't. We need the males, the black men to be able to speak. Because just want niggas to shut up, of which, that's been the thing. You got the Andrew Tate, like, niggas just shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? You got, saying Kevin Savage, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Just shut the fuck, don't say it. We're supposed to be having these conversations in-house. Well, yeah, of course we're supposed to be having the conversations in-house when it's your turn. You know what I'm saying? When it's your turn for criticism, of course. And most of the criticism, again, I would argue, like, it ain't even really, it's showing what you're doing. Usually a lot of this stuff starts with a clip. It's the clip, and then it's the reaction to the behavior. And then usually some dudes, they go next level and they say, here's some stats. Here's some stats associated with said behavior. Because most of us kind of know. In this space, it's just that. It's not a bunch of dudes who can't get pussy. Look, I got kids. Most dudes in this space got kids, yo. It's not a bunch of dudes that are unproductive. Most of the dudes. It's so many dudes in IT, tech, engineers, all kinds of lawyers. It's not a bunch of unproductive dudes. The conversation is, why the fuck am I a productive dude only to be with a bitch who's gonna do this shit? Why? I didn't become productive only to deal with an uncooperative woman. I didn't become productive to deal with a woman who's gonna get in my face and be masculine. I didn't do that. I didn't become productive to be with an overweight woman. I didn't become productive. That's what's being said. That's not the conversation on the other side. The conversation on the other side is just do it because you a man and that's what a man's supposed to do. Motherfucker, I'm not for you. Not for you. And we're having a different conversation because the conversation, they couldn't be having the same conversation because as much as they think they know us, Sir Davis, they don't care enough because they don't see, like, it's almost like they don't even see us as human. It's servant and masters. That's what it is. It's do the thing for me, do the man thing, you know, do the pay the bills thing. Oh, I'm gonna take the kids. Do the child support thing. You know, oh, this guy disrespect me. Do the die for me thing. You know, it's literally just perform for me. They don't even see us as human beings. And you push that when you say both sides need to. It's not both sides, sir. It's not both sides. And this is not a pussy money situation. You know what I'm saying? Dudes, if you give it, this is true to form. Most dudes have played some kind of organized sports. We pretty much, with the exception of a couple, you know, you always got a couple dudes that don't get it when they're, you know, playing an organized sport. But most dudes understand hierarchy. We understand get in your position where you fit in. You know, I coach my son's team. For the longest time, I thought, you know, with looking at them playing, I thought that kids were going to be upset if they didn't get as much time as the other kid, and they were going to cry. No. Even at that age, they get it. He's better than me. You know what I'm saying? And you put them in according to who's the best. And you put kids where they are, that they can be as successful as possible. Dudes understand that. All the boys understood it. You put boys in that position, they're going to understand it. They understand it as men too. That's why you have military. That's why you have armed forces. That's why you have armed service. That's why you have your police officers, and you have all that stuff because we understand order. We're not arguing about what our position is over here. That's what they're arguing over. Again, I go back to, if you ask a black one, two black women in the same house, what does it mean to be a wife? They're going to give you two different answers because they don't believe that they have to do anything. They don't believe they got to do anything. That's the problem. They're trying to get traditional benefits and modern benefits. Modern day freedoms with traditional benefits. Why can't I just have that? And the next time I hear a woman say, look, and everybody in the sound of my voice, if a woman tells you that she is strong and independent and don't need no man, let her ass be single. Say, you're right, ma'am. You have a good one. Because you're strong and independent. Pay this fucking bill here. You know what I'm saying? And tip the waitress. This, you know, whatever. You know, but I've went on a long time, man. I'm going to get on out of here, man. You know, look like the subscribers are moving. So just keep on subscribing, man. Let's get us to at least 500. You know what I'm saying? And just keep it moving. But this is Mike Perkins, and I am out.